Now, this might come as a shock to some of you, but Teen Titans premiered 20 years ago. Now, let me say that again. Teen Titans, one of the most iconic and influential, not just DC cartoons, but just cartoons ever made, came out exactly 2 decades ago. Even I remember watching it, which is surprising because when it came out, I hadn't even begun incubating yet. This time it's not even a joke, I was actually not alive. Many a generation have praised and beloved the Teen Titans, but I feel like a lot of people do just out of nostalgia without really remembering what made the show work in the first place. Now, I'm in no way saying Teen Titans isn't a good show, because it is a very good show. It's just that, why is it good? If there's one thing our memory has definitely lied to us about Teen Titans, it's that it's not as edgy as a lot of us remember. Now, while I was rewatching Teen Titans, I noticed something. Something that I had never really caught on before. And once I did, I started to really like the show even more. You can take pretty much any frame from any episode of Teen Titans Go, and it's chocked full of Easter eggs from the DC universe. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with a little egg hunting every now and then, but it's not like the original Teen Titans didn't have any Easter eggs at all, but there was a bit of an issue, a roadblock, if you will. Enter the Bat Embargo. Basically, Justice League Unlimited, The Batman, and Teen Titans were all airing around the same time. And for weird legal rights issues or whatever, the series weren't allowed to share characters with each other. Unlimited was able to use anyone related to Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, any of that. But not Aquaman, hands off of Aquaman. Now that I think about it, that's probably why they had to kill off Devil Ray so early on. Meanwhile, all of the Batman-adjacent characters were strictly reserved for the Batman 2004 series. Now, eventually, Teen Titans would end and the Batman would introduce Robin. In fact, they even hinted at a Teen Titans at the end of the final episode, which have led some people to believe that Teen Titans and the Batman are in the same universe, but that can't be because their killer moths are different. It's a whole thing. Because everyone iconic and recognizable had been taken up, Teen Titans was kind of left with the bottom of the barrel scraps, and a lot of the times they even ended up making their own original characters. Now, maybe nowadays the Teen Titans are very iconic and well known, but you have to think, all of that started from somewhere, right? And it was here. It all started here. Teen Titans did not have name recognition on their side, but instead of letting it be their weakness, they turned it into their greatest strength. I don't really know what name recognition was like in the early 2000s, because, especially from, a kid's point of view in that era, before the internet, it's sure, maybe Batman was a household name, but, Deathstroke wasn't really, not yet, at least, and it's I seriously doubt it was the way that it is now, where, oh, this guy is in the movie, so it's totally gonna make money. Sometimes it can be hard to tell if a character was pulled from the comics or if they were made just for the show. Every character is molded and shaped to perfectly fit the style of this universe. The series' main villain, Deathstroke, had to be very heavily censored. No more guns or swords or anything like that. They couldn't even call him Deathstroke, they just had to call him Slade. But despite all these changes, they were still able to perfectly communicate just how ruthless and evil Slade really was. Casting Ron Perlman was also a definitely good idea. This is hands down the definitive version of Slade. He shows how less can be more, and also because I just think the name Deathstroke sounds kind of like an edgy Xbox gamer tag. There are 5 Teen Titans and 5 seasons of the show. Each season chooses to focus on a specific Titan. Season 1 is about Robin's power struggle against Slade. Season 2 is about the recruitment and later betrayal of Terra, and her relationship with Beast Boy is also very heavily focused on. Season 3 is about Cyborg building a new Titans group while also having to deal with the new Hive agency. Season 4 is about Trigon and a newly resurrected Slade trying to use Raven to destroy the world. And Season 5, the final season, is basically just about the Titans building an army of heroes so they can fight an army of bad guys. Something you might notice is that there aren't any Starfire-focused seasons, and I get why someone would be bummed out by that, but personally I feel like there already are a lot of Star-centric episodes that are very well made and well written, so I don't really consider it that big of a loss that she never got a season. So how about I break down each season, starting with the first... How about I break down each character, starting with the team leader, Robin. Robin is dedicated, headstrong, and serious, no doubt traits he got from his father figure, Batman. However, Robin is still a kid, and is thus not as dead inside as his papa. Unlike Bruce, Robin can much easier make friends and have relationships. This arguably makes him a better hero than Batman. And that was Season 1. Now moving on to Season 2. Season 2 introduces Terra and adapts the Judas contract storyline from the comics. Now in the comics, Terra was actually evil from the beginning, but in Teen Titans, it wasn't that simple. When Terra first joined the Teen Titans, she legitimately wanted to help and be their ally. But unfortunately, she had trouble controlling her powers, and after a whole misunderstanding, she thought that Beast Boy told the other Titans about her secret. This led to her losing trust in them and leaving the group. Slade took this opportunity to brainwash her and make her his new apprentice. Then Slade would send her back into the Teen Titans, this time as a spy. Personally, I think that out of every iteration of the Judas contract, the Teen Titans 2003 is the best. You see, Teen Titans got you to like Terra, to relate to Terra. Then they forced you to watch as she's slowly, painfully tortured and indoctrinated by Slade. The whole thing is just truly unsettling to watch unfold, especially if you know what's going to happen. Now, there is something I don't really like about this arc, and is that I feel like Terra does kind of turn evil a bit too easily. I mean, yeah, most of the brainwashing happened off screen, most likely because it's a kid's show, but I mean, okay, sure, Robin worded something in a weird way that made you think Beast Boy told everyone about your secret, but, that's something that can just be, explained away in just a few sentences. You really don't have all that much beef with the Teen Titans. And it's not like Slade got her to hate the Teen Titans in that period she was away from them, since when she came back she seemed to feel guilty about betraying them. She only started to get mad and hate the Teen Titans after they got mad at her, but they only got mad at her because she led them into a trap, which is exactly something that, anyone would get mad at. I don't know, it's not a very big deal. It doesn't really, sabotage the entire arc or anything like that. Now, the Season 3 arc mainly focuses on Cyborg. Let's talk Cyborg. Cyborg might have to be my favorite character in the series. Cyborg was an athlete, but an accident left his body completely destroyed, and he was rebuilt as this metal man. Cyborg to me feels like the most balanced character. Yes, he went through this horrible accident that permanently disfigured his entire body, but he doesn't always let it get him down, since after all, no one feels one emotion all the time. Throughout the series, Cyborg is pushed. He's told that his human half doesn't matter and his robot half is the only useful part of him. But at the end of the third season, his human spirit is ultimately what defeats Brother Blood. Cyborg's stories always felt really fleshed out. I truly do think he is one of the best characters in the whole show. And moving on to another one of the best characters, Raven. Raven, as I'm sure most of us know, is part demon. This is due to the fact that she is the daughter of the demon overlord Trigon. And as a demon, Raven is expected to follow in her father's footsteps and destroy the world. But she can't. This new world has become her home, and these people, the Teen Titans, have become her new family. What I especially like about Raven is that she's able to overcome these darker sides of herself, but while still maintaining what makes her, her. Think of it like this. It's like comparing being goth to being depressed. One of them is an aesthetic choice, whereas the other is a mental health problem that you need to work on. And now moving on to Starfire. Starfire is an alien from another planet, and as such, she doesn't really understand Earth culture all that well. Starfire is known for saying and doing a lot of strange and confusing things, but just because it's harder to understand her doesn't mean she's not a good person. But despite her seemingly naive surface, she is actually very fierce and powerful. Originally, she was an enemy, and even the catalyst for the Teen Titans forming in the first place. Starfire is proof that a character can have good stories and in-depth personality without needing an entire story arc to dedicate to them. And finally, we have Beast Boy. Now, to be honest, I actually wasn't really the biggest fan of Beast Boy. Now, that was until Season 5. In the final season, it's revealed that Beast Boy used to be part of a different group called the Doom Patrol. And Season 5 follows the Teen Titans as they build a whole new network of Titans to fight against the Doom Patrol's old arch-enemies, the Brotherhood of Evil. I think aside from the Trigon season, this has to be like the most over-the-top and exciting season of Teen Titans, definitely worthy of being the final climax. Now, there's actually something very interesting I noticed about this season. So throughout it, Beast Boy is very dedicated to stop the Brotherhood of Evil. This is probably like the most serious we've seen him in the entire show. Throughout their introduction, there's a lot of instances where they're stuck in a moment of peril and it seems as though they won't get out. And even in the two-part finale, during the whole big team-up, they're nowhere to be seen. And in the comics, the Doom Patrol did die, so I couldn't really shake this feeling that maybe in an earlier draft of this season, the Doom Patrol would have died here as well. It could have been a censorship thing, maybe Cartoon Network didn't want to kill off an entire group of superheroes, but then again, they would do that exact thing later in Batman Brave and the Bold. The Beast Boy solo episodes always felt a lot more goofy, and he never really took any agency until the final season. Even in Season 2 with Tara, it still didn't really feel like his story. But hey, speaking of Tara, something that definitely is Beast Boy's story is the infamous series finale, Things Change. It all begins when this big white thing shows up and starts wreaking havoc everywhere. But during the battle, Beast Boy notices Tara alive in the crowd, so he runs off to follow her. When Beast Boy finally finds Tara, he realizes that she's lost all her memories. So he spends the whole episode trying to get her to remember. But no matter what he tries, she just isn't the same person anymore. And by the end, Beast Boy must make a decision. continue to pursue a lost cause, or help his friends fight the white creature. And so Beast Boy makes the mature decision and lets her go. Now, the fans really do not like this finale, and I mean, I can kinda get why. There are certainly a lot of loose ends, like how did Tara come back to life, and why doesn't she remember anything? What even was that white creature? Is it related to Tara in any way, or is it just a random enemy? Who was the Red X? I don't actually care. The thing with the Teen Titans finale is that it's not a cliffhanger. It's disappointing because life is disappointing sometimes. That's the intention. The title of the episode is Things Change. That's the whole point of the story. Things change. Kari Payton, the voice of Cyborg, even said that the whole point of the episode is it's meant to be a teenager's last lesson before growing up. That last lesson being, things change. Now look, I don't normally say this type of thing because I think it's kind of annoying and rude. But if you're the type of person that still wants Teen Titans season 6 even after it's all been wrapped up, and you one of those people that's like, "Oh, the ending was so bad. Why couldn't Beast Boy and Tara get back together again?" Then it's like it sounds kind of like you need to touch grass. I mean, I'm sorry, okay? That's the type of vibes you're giving off when you say stuff like that. I bet you're probably the type of person that only watches the edited version of Gone with the Wind. But again, I want to reiterate that I do completely understand why so many people dislike this ending, because it is a somewhat anticlimactic, just really downer way to end such a great series. Personally, if I were to make Teen Titans, then I would put the Things Change episode right before a two-part or three-part finale. Like, I would put it and then have the Titans Together episode, and then have the Trigon episode. This way we can still have the Things Changed message and have it be the symbolic finale of the series, but then immediately follow it up with, a big climactic final battle just to satisfy the audience. We did kind of get that in the form of Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo. This is almost more infuriating because the fans literally got a movie continuation and they still want a season 6. My review of Trouble in Tokyo, it was good. Yeah, it was alright. Was the plot twist predictable? Well, yes, but actually, no. At the end, Robin and Starfire become like a couple or whatever, and this is also something I'm not a huge fan of. Not just this, but really in cartoons in general. They always have the romance plot resolved at the very end of the last episode. Why do they always have to do that? Also, Beast Boy gets called an otaku at one point, which is probably just the most surprising line of dialogue I've ever heard in all of Teen Titans. Now, the whole reason why Teen Titans Go was made in the first place was to satisfy all the fans that were never going to get a sixth season. And I think that Teen Titans Go does fail as a continuation of Teen Titans. It doesn't use any of the pre-established characters, and it in no way tries to replicate the anime style the original series had. But with that being said, that doesn't automatically make it a bad show. If you want to watch an action-packed, character-driven story, then don't watch Teen Titans Go. It's a new show for a new generation, and there's nothing really inherently wrong with that. I think the only real issues with it are A, its oversaturation, and B, the fact that it often goes out of its way just to make fun of its predecessor. Even Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans mostly just felt like an excuse to make fun of the original. I do get why some people like Teen Titans Go to the movies, but if you're a sane individual who hasn't seen it yet, then just watch the My Superhero Movie clip on YouTube. That's really the only part worth seeing. In conclusion, Teen Titans was a series that knew how to make good stories. It understood and respected the characters that it was using. And maybe nowadays the Teen Titans are pop culture and cartoon icons, but it wasn't always like that. Remember that there was a time when the Teen Titans were just an obscure superhero group. Teen Titans 2003 is no doubt a cartoon classic. Happy 20th birthday, Teen Titans! But anyways, that is all the time I have for you today. This has been Bradwurst, signing off. We go rumble, we go get your face off. We go rumble, we go get your face off. It's about drive, it's about power. We say agree, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.